Hey and welcome to Neverwinter with Aragon. So here I want to cover the current active events, Dungeon Delver's Delights, ×2 seals, and how to actually make the most of them. Now Dungeon Delver's Delights, if you read the description, says you'll have a more likely chance to drop premium items. This being from epic dungeon, trial and skirmish chests. But you may be a little bit confused as that's super vague. But if you're going for like a new gear, do not expect the drop rate to be increased. They are not considered premium drops. You could run your Lair of the Mad Dragon and you're going to have the same chance to drop that gear piece from your boss or not. What is considered premium loot is pretty much what you get, say, in the Zen Market, bar a few exceptions. You can see the entire list here, like companion and mount upgrade tokens, unbind tokens, which they sell in the services tab, and if you're not aware, you can still make a lot of Astral Diamonds off them if you unbind the right things and then go and sell those items. Then you have just pure Astral Diamonds, that's quite unique, and you can get up to like 100,000. Then you're just getting trade bars, which are kind of a premium loot as you would only get it from lockboxes, and you can spend that then on all of those different rewards here. You then have preservation wards, which again are also like primarily sold here on the Zen Market. Otherwise there are some events like the Gond event right now, you can get a lot. Genie gifts, which are actually kind of getting phased out, but they still drop in just lock boxes, and so it is considered also a premium drop. Then you have Scrolls of Life, Stones of Mass Life. Those again are primarily sold in the Zen Market here, and otherwise the Trade Bar store, which are both, I guess, considered premium stores, and thus it being categorized as that. Stones of Health as well are with those consumables. And then uncommon epic companions and mounts. These are pretty common these days, and you'll find an absolute ton of them just on the auction house, particularly on epic, getting as cheap as like 100 Astral Diamonds for that one, but that's kind of an exception, I guess. But these are going down in price crazy. These things used to be above 100,000 or more. Same story with companions, I believe, as well. 3,000, they're probably going to be around like 10,000. You can get quite a few of them for like 10 to 20,000. But they're considered premium drops as well, as you're primarily getting them from like lock boxes. And that's a big influence of why things are so much cheaper. Then there is these 42 slot bags. They did go and update that from previously it was a 36 slot bag, but that's still quite a ways off from the maximum slots of 72 that bags are at right now. Would like to see that getting improved to that, especially since the actual value of bags is pretty low these days. You get a 72 slot bag, 144,000 Astral Diamonds. Just wait till the new lockbox comes out. These will be down to like 100,000 again. Then we do have some like legendary dies, which were newly added when they made this change to the loot tables. This was back again with module 23, I believe. And they drop as like these legendary bottles. You'll see them here and they'll sell for a bit, but not much anymore since you only need like one die on your character. You can then get primitive, standard, enhanced and coalescent motes even. And then legendary account-wide mounts, which have been getting super cheap. But I think that's more of a result from the summer festival we just had than dropping in dungeons, because in dungeons they will actually drop with the account tag, which is very nice, account wide, and then you can go and sell that. Just make sure you're selling it for a bit more than any without the account tag, as they are actually that much more valuable. And then uncommon to mythic insignias. Yep, you can actually get mythic insignias to just drop directly. Just be aware though that all of these item drops are usually bound to your count when you obtain them. There are some exceptions like companions, mounts, dies and insignias. They will all be unbound, which is good. And then these items will only show up in, say, queued content end chests, with the exception of like leveling dungeons. And as per the description of the event here, they say like epic dungeons, trial and skirmish chests, which is kind of very vague and misleading. Like, what's an epic dungeon? Well, they aren't that anymore. They got rid of the epic category, and it now just encompasses all dungeons, all advanced dungeons, and all master dungeons, including all your skirmishes, all your trials, whether they're standard or master. But you may be wondering, what are the chances of getting this loot in the first place? What content should you be running to make the most of it? Should I be farming something over and over in order to get the best rates at actually getting these? And ultimately, it's pretty much based on the average playtime, the average expected playtime of said content. So for example, you check the Crown of Calderon trial. The average runtime is supposed to be 20 minutes. Therefore, the drop rate of this premium loot will be balanced around that estimation. You look at maybe something else, I guess all of these are 20 minutes. Defense of the Moondancer, 30 minutes. And then you check the skirmishes, and these are like 15 minutes, 15. What's Master of the Hunt? 15. And all of it's balanced around that expected playtime. You go to dungeons, 30 minutes, even master dungeons, 30 minutes. And basically what you should be doing is running content that you can complete much faster than the average expected playtime. This is what the devs expect you to spend in order to complete that content. And so the rewards are balanced around that. So what is very valuable is to go to a skirmish like the Master of the Hunt, which is expected to take 15 minutes, and you complete that in like 2-3 minutes. That way you're getting your chests and you're getting your rewards. The drop rate is going to be the same as like Dread Legion, which is 15 minutes, Prophecy of Mana is 15 minutes. And so if you're going to consider doing any of these other ones, just be aware of the expected playtime is exactly the same expected playtime as Master of the Hunt. And what I found, this is probably the fastest skirmish you can do, so this is the best one to do there. If you want to then look at dungeons, you're a bit bored, want to play 5-man content with tanks and healers and like shake it up a bit, then you'll look at these dungeons. You'll figure out what's the one that's fastest for me to get through, and so should I farm that one over and over? And of course you might just get bored and just might want to take it at random, and that's what's great about this random queues. You can go in solo, not have to go find anybody, and you can queue up, and here I can get an instant invite. In order to like actually make that occur, you need to queue up as per what is displayed here. Right now we have roll bonus for tanks, so if I queue up as a tank right here, I'm going to get a very quick queue pop. So it is highly recommended you have multiple characters that have the different roles. Try fix up a tank build for yourself, a healer build for yourself, and a damage dealer setup for yourself. And in most cases, these role bonuses are going to be for tanks and healers because those are the ones that are like missing. And more so tanks than anybody else. As we look, the trial queue needs a tank, the advanced dungeon queue needs a tank, and the dungeon queue needs a tank. Skirmish doesn't matter. I would recommend going in there as a damage dealer. You don't really need tanks or healers to easily beat those, so just go in as a damage dealer, and there's no role limitation there at all. Like these dungeon queues, advanced dungeons and trials queues have a requirement here of like 2 tanks, 2 healers and 6 DPS, and with the dungeons it's 1 tank, 1 healer, 3 DPS, and the queue has to fill that or it will not go ahead. So the best thing I can do here is at least once per day go in and get my daily bonus rough Astro diamonds. That's like the minimum. I'll get some extra premium drops here and that'll be good to go. After that, once I got the rough AD, it could be very viable to just farm over and over the Master of the Hunt. Or I could go for something a bit more challenging, have a bit of fun, and farm like Rise of Tiamat over and over. Because I just made a video as well, which does list over 200 ways to make Astro Diamonds, and Rise of Tiamat on Master is one of the very high value trials with some good items you can actually sell for a lot. Of course, it will depend how many people are actually farming it, and thus how many items are actually getting put on the auction house, and so prices will drop if all of you decide to run that content. So make sure to just go check out different content for yourself, different things that they can drop. Again, this video will have it all listed like this right here, and you can check the link to that there as well. Just be aware that nearly all this content has 2 chests when you complete it, bar some skirmishes, I believe. And in order to open that second chest, you'll need a key. And normally the key you'll need is in the adventuring tab, the skeleton key. Some of them will need the demonic key, like Demogorgon Prophecy of the Madness. So you'll have to spend a bit of astral times to get them, and it's usually worth it. However, be aware you can only buy 5 of these keys every day per character. So you might want to stock up on these if you want to do a bunch of farming. Also, keep in mind of content which actually needs a specific key based on a specific campaign. You can see all of the campaigns right here. And for example, Zariel's Challenge will need this key. The Infernal Citadel will need this key. And so running that content without those keys is not really recommended compared to just running something where you could use a skeleton key. That's another reason why the Rise of Tiamat trial on Master is so good, is because you can just use a skeleton key for that and get some good items you can sell. Versus running Zemnid's Reliquary, you're going to need the Medzabranzan currency and to have stocked up on these keys, which you can only buy once per day, even if you have a ton of currency. You can of course spend some Zen and get legendary dragon keys, but it's actually generally not recommended. Even in Dungeon Delvers Elites, getting these keys here is a bit of a waste, unless sure you're going for something like the Wand of Domination selling for 5 million. At that time when the trial was there, it was actually worth it for me to get keys. You will also just get some legendary dragon keys from opening lock boxes, and I believe I've spent all mine already. And so I hope you understand that it is a balance pretty much based on the estimated expected play time and thus your likelihood to actually get these items. And yeah, it can be quite a good jackpot to get like a mythic insignia, or to get a whole bunch of refined astral diamonds, even unbind tokens you can make the most of. And there are some great things here, even coalescent motes, which on PC are still nearly 700,000. So again, hopefully that clears up what to do with Dungeon Delvers and what you can actually expect to obtain with the increased drop rates for it. Not your gear, guys. Even though I suggest to run Tiamat, dropping that Arcane Globe, Golden Sash and Golden Necklace is not going to have any higher chance. It's just you will get bonus premium drops when running that content. But now let's quickly touch on ×2 seals. Of course, you can just use this event to get twice as much seals. So the trial queue and the advanced dungeon queue are giving you the seals of the spider god, the skirmish and the dungeon queue are giving you the seals of the dragon. And if you want to run your dragon hunts, they'll give you seals of the dragon as well. Now what's more important is the Reaper's Challenge. This one is going to give you 2 Reaper marks every day versus 1. So you're getting double the amount, which is actually really good. You go to your Protector's Enclave, you go to the Reaper's Mark vendor just around the corner here, and you can see all the items that you can obtain from him. And there's some great things here. Now, Greater Shards used to be one of the main things people would buy, but they've gone down in price significantly as you can buy them with trade bars. So you could potentially just get trade bars here, or you could save for some legendary companions and mounts. Alternatively, you go for legendary insignia choice packs, which yes, will be bound when you obtain them, but if you select the insignia, you can sell that insignia. And so every 5 Reaper challenge runs, or with ×2 seals every 2.5, you get a legendary insignia worth. So it's definitely not something you should miss out on as a newer player right there. But overall, that's this week. Next Thursday, those events will be gone, and I'm sure they'll return again in a month or 2. Just keep your eye out, and at least now you know what to expect and what you can hope to obtain from Dungeon Delvers with those premium drops. Thank you for watching, and a special thank you to all these channel members. See you guys around. Goodbye for now.